Let's talk about remotes. What is this doing here? In the world of both product and self-portraits, I get asked about tethering and remote shooting and what I use and etc. First, we have your phone. A lot of the newer-ish cameras have the ability to sync up to an app. A lot of the apps stink, and it's fine. You just sort of have to learn their unique ways. The pros, it's typically always with you. The cons, the apps typically kind of suck, but it gets the job done. It's nice to kind of see yourself up close, especially if you're working with like a situation where you're shooting across like a parking garage, for example. The thing is you have to find where to hide your phone. Luckily, if you're shooting for yourself in like a business kind of way, like for content for your business, very branding kind of photography, then you hanging out with your phone makes a lot of sense, right? So you wouldn't even have to put your phone away, which is awesome if it's like part of the props that are intentionally there. As long as you have a newer type camera that works with an app, you don't have to buy anything else. And so if you're in a pinch for a remote, you really can't go wrong. I mean, you can. It is clunky and doesn't always work, and sometimes it just randomly disconnects for no reason, and it's whatever. But as soon as you learn its love language, then you're solid. Next up, we have remotes. So there are so many out there, depending on your camera, what's going to work and what doesn't, the features you want, etc. I usually go for the most basic. The differences here is this one's an IR one, infrared, and it's because the camera I had with this one did not have Bluetooth connectivity for a remote. I had to use an infrared. I like infrared in that you don't have to worry about connectivity issues, except when you do. So when this fails is outdoors. Infrared during golden hour just does not mix, okay? And also a long distance away, not something that mixes well. Now this one's Bluetooth. I don't believe it does not have an IR, it's only Bluetooth, and it's always connected, which is pretty cool. And the battery life has been amazing, have not changed it once. It also doesn't need to be seen. That's a pro, right? This one has to have sight, like, on old TV, right? You could point this is the same situation. And I would have that particularly like when I'm using a bigger lens. Let's say I was using the 85. It's a fat one, it's a fat lens. And so the sensor would often be blocked and I'd have to play that where is it game and how am I gonna, shoot the photo. Kind of a problem. This one, no issue. This could be in my pocket, which often I'm like, it's in my pocket and I can shoot it and not have to worry about aiming and then hiding the thing. And the cool thing about that is then I can just shoot like a regular photo without the countdown. And like I said, there's so many options out there. There's more or less features depending on which remote and which camera and whatever. So you will have to do some research for yourself on that one, but there's a lot to choose from there. There's also remotes for your phone, tiny little Bluetooth clickers that way as well. And so if you're gonna use your phone a lot for like self-portraiture, then you can do that. Now, the computer. This is when you're literally tethering to the camera. So like I use this cable and I plug in the camera to the computer and then I boot up my preferred program. So there's a lot out there. Most namely is going to be Capture One. However, there's typically software that your camera has. If you don't want to pay for something or whatever, or learn a new trick, there is software typically for free available to you that is like your camera's company's software, right? Sony has what is called Imaging Edge. It is the same name for the app on the phone. I have used that flawlessly. You can also, I think, use Lightroom. That one is a little more particular about camera models, at least the last time I've looked at it. It's been a while. You could look into Lightroom to remote shoot, tether shoot, and then you can look into Capture One. That is very common. If you're shooting, what is the name of that one with the dragon frame? I'm really bad at names. Or you can use the software that comes with your, not comes with it, but is something you can go download from the website of the manufacturer of your camera. I know a lot of people complain about Sony's software. I don't have issues with it. The thing we love about shooting tethered on a computer is you can actually see the full resolution image to see fine details, especially if you're working with jewelry. that's the gist, I would say. The only other thing I didn't mention was using the timer countdown situation on your camera. I rarely use that. I mean, I'll use it if I have a remote. The thing is, at least on the camera models I've worked with, when you hit the shutter on it with a timer, it is locking the focus at that moment. So if you hit the shutter, like let's say you're gonna take a picture of yourself in front of pretty flowers or whatever. You hit the shutter without you in the frame, and then you walk, you know, your 10 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever you set it to get in frame. It has already locked focus on the flowers behind you, which is going to make you blurry. That's why I don't love shooting with a timer countdown situation unless I'm shooting with a remote, and even then, you have to be very careful, because as soon as you hit that, it's locked right here. That means I can't move my head back. I can't, like, you know, move. I can't move. So wherever you're gonna have your face, you have to keep it there and then hit your button and then pose yourself around, keeping your head right here. Which is why I don't use it unless I know. I'm just really intentional about that. There is another thing I've used in a pinch when I've had to do family photography, where I am also in there, and you don't just wanna shoot one photo. You kinda wanna shoot a series. There is, in some models, interval timer shooting setting, and I love that for that specific situation. So you set it up to shoot however many intervals, like 5 seconds apart. It'll keep shooting a photo, and it'll do this for so many times or whatever. So when you hit the shutter, it's gonna take a series of images in whatever number, you know, interval that you've set for however many, right? Which is very useful in that very particular situation. That is, I get asked a lot about camera, remotes, tethering, etc. So I probably left some things out. You let me know what you prefer to do, and I'll see you in the next one.